In this week's video we continue onwards from Seagull Bay in Gocheck, and we have a look at how the solar's performing. In fact, it's performing just outrageously good. We put a new pad eye on the mast for our whisker pole, and while we're doing that we also finish off, or partially finish, the water maker. It's almost all done now, but at least it's working. Stay with us, enjoy the video. Last week you'll recall that we left Keckover and headed west and slightly north, up towards Cache, and then passing Cache we went on to Gocheck. We managed to do this in one day and was motor sailing most of the way as the wind was on the nose. The last couple of miles into Gocheck we did manage to get the jib up and do a little bit of sailing into Seagull Bay. Seagull Bay is located near Gocheck. It's in the far western corner, on the south near the peninsula, and it's sort of round the corner and in, and it affords some fairly good protection other than in strong northerlies. The other side of the peninsula there's another anchorage. The restaurant and landing pier at Seagull Bay are back in original ownership again, and the things have changed there. It's now quite expensive to stay on the pontoon, whereas it used to be free as long as you had a beer and the odd meal. Now it's damned expensive, in fact as expensive as one of the marinas. We won't be going back, but it is beautiful there, and it's certainly worth anchoring and tying back. Now here we are a year later at Seagull Bay. Remember the video we did, I think it was last September, almost a year ago, and some drone footage as well. Things have changed. But not an awful lot. It's a lot busier here. But the cicadas are just as noisy. Looks like somebody's caravan's been turned over, quite literally. It looks like things are kind of being tidied up a little bit. When we first came in it was really windy. Now it's died down a lot. Despite the tidying up, the place has changed, and we don't think it's changed for the better. We liked it rough and ready. From the drone footage you can see there's been a lot of changes, and some of the pine trees have been attacked by a pine weevil. They've had to be felled. But it still is beautiful. From Seagull Bay in Gochek, we headed to Trunch, which is just south of Marmaris. It was here that we met up with David and Caroline, who had been there a couple of days. Okay, this is Trunch. There is a cave over there that you can go inside, tourist spot. Lots and lots of hotels. Some big mountains behind. There is no anchoring to the east of that buoy there. It's actually a special mark. You can see that. Can't really see it. But there's a lot of submarine cables go through, and they go through just behind where this cat is, or just to the right of this cat. So there is a German Bavaria anchored there. He's actually on top of where the marine cables are marked on the chart, so I expect he'll get a telling off later. The place to anchor is right out the front of this big landing stage here, which is all concrete, and that's where all the pirate boats come with their disco sounds and jukebox jury and all of that malarkey. But it's Sunday today, so all the grockles are sleeping it off, because they were partying to the wee hours last night. We could hear them. So that is Trunch. Lovely. So it's a one horse town, as they call it. One road in, one road out, and one road down the middle with all the facilities. Ishmere is a little bit bigger and nearer to Marmaris. There you are, that's what the place looks like. We stayed in Trunch last night, which is near Marmaris. We caught up with David and Caroline, who were anchored here. Quite a bouncy night, in fact, really bouncy. We were side onto the swell, and I couldn't get a swell bridle on, simply because it was too lumpy to do so, and I got thrown around in the bed a little bit. Not good for my chest, which is still recovering. But anyway, enough about me. We are now heading round to Ishmere, which is just round the corner here. And it's a lovely sunny day. We're putting 57 amps in the lithium on charge. In fact, I'll put some stuff up on the screen for you, so you can see how we're doing lithium wise. Really pleased with it, and we're specifically giving it a hammering to see, you know, what it's capable of. Anyway, yes, Ishmere, we're going to go round there. And apparently you can get an English breakfast, and we haven't had one of those for over a year, I'm guessing, a year, something like that. So that's where we're going to go, and the Grand Prix is on today. David wants to watch that. So we'll say goodbye to Trunch. We've managed to come out across the beach. We're moored way out there. We've come up the river, put the tender there, locked it up. We could have gone a bit further up the river. We know that you can get up the river further, but we'll have to have a look and see how deep it is when we get up there. Well, the cooked breakfast was fine. Let's have a look at our solar update and see how we're performing. Well, as you can see here, we're producing a hell of a lot of power. In fact, 7.4 kilowatts in the last 2 days. On sunny days, we take the opportunity to charge up everything and make water. So here's the update on our solar. We've now been at anchor for 2 days. We're down to 65% on our solar. We were up at 100% last night. We've had the fridge and freezer running constantly. Our AC load is at the moment 69 to 70 watts. That's 230 volts, 0.3 of an amp. We're producing 390 watts from our PVs. They're actually got the sun on the wrong side of them at the moment, so only about half what they can put out normally. We've got our water maker running, which is drawing about 22 amps, something like that. So that gives us a net of 8.7, 8.8 amps. And we've got our inverter running. The inverter is charging a iPad, a tablet, one phone and 2 cameras. So that's how we are. As soon as I turn one pump off on the 2 pumps of the water maker, the situation will change quite dramatically. Be another 10 amps going in. We're actually in the marina at the moment. We aren't plugged into anything. We're running from our solar and lithium. I've just turned the hot water on. So our clarifier through its heater element at 240 volts is running from the inverter, and it's dragging, there we go, wrong way. It's dragging 920 watts plus a few other bits and pieces. We're producing early in the morning here, very reasonably early, 366, 375 watts in total. That's being converted up through the inverter. The batteries are at 96%, even with our heating our hot water. So while we're in the marina, we have to pay for the electric, and we're actually saving ourselves a few quid by using our excess solar to heat our hot water rather than paying for electricity from the mains grid. There you are, another money saving tip. We don't save your money here on Impavidus. So actually doing some major electrical work here today. I've got all the crimps, ferrules, heat shrink. I've got my mat out, solder. I'm just about to get my soldering iron out. Getting on with the jobs in hand. This is the next job, and this is a switch panel for the water maker. So pump 1, LED indicator light, pump 2, and then this 12 volt outlet there, so that I can run a lead lamp or a fan or anything I need to down inside the lazarette where the water maker is. On the inside I've got to do the wiring yet, and that's just what I'm getting on with at the moment while I'm sitting here in 40 degrees of heat. So yeah, sweating like a good one. It's absolutely, and the wind is blowing. You can see the ensigns moving there, but it's like somebody putting a hairdryer on you. Really warm. I can understand why they get forest fires here every year. Yeah, it's warm. So even at anchor we're working. I've had all the tools out, some cable there, I needed some spare cable. Our gas has come out of the locker because I have been down in here, and I am just, I'll climb down again. Now on the 3 cabin version of this boat, this locker is another broom, and let's show you what's going on. Let's move this out the way. So I've got a little fan here that I can run in this locker when I'm working, because it gets really hot in here. Let's turn these 2 off. So now let's start with, let's turn those 2 off. The water comes in through our seacock, which you saw us fit before. Comes up, here's a U-bend behind here, which is behind this bulkhead here. Comes up into this strainer. From this strainer I can actually turn that strainer off, and that strainer allows me to put fresh water through to purge the system or flush it through, and that fresh water has no chlorine in it. To get the chlorine out, I have a charcoal filter here, which is fed by our mains on the boat. The boat's actual tanks are full of water that hasn't got chlorine in them now, and it then goes through a secondary chlorine filter, charcoal filter, and I can turn that one on by simply just turning that. like so, and closing that one, and it feeds it through. This then, water then comes down through here into pump 1 and into pump 2, so I can run either both pumps or one pump at a time for economy, and then goes through the seawater filter, which is 5 microns. They get a lot dirtier than this. This one's quite clean, well, relatively clean. From there the water goes up and through this piece of kit which maintains the pressure, goes through the Clark pump, which we showed you how that works before. Clark pump takes it up to about 800 psi, at which point it then goes through this, which is our big membrane that we've just replaced, and then the brine, which is marked there. Tape doesn't do very well in salty atmosphere. This then comes out of here and out over the side, and then our product water comes out the other end and out of this little tube here, which I can shut off via that valve, and we can then test it for parts per million or put it into either our forward tank or our aft tank by simply doing it manually. And the reason we've got all these manual valves is it makes it really simple to work and maintain, and of course it makes it really cheap. When something goes wrong, it's easy to find out what's gone wrong and how to fix it. So there we are. Pipework needs tidying up. I'm going to do that this winter, but we are up and running. I made this little control panel in here. There's a couple of relays and some bits and bobs in there, so I can turn one pump on or 2 pumps on, and I've also put a little 5 amp outlet so that I can run a lamp in here or something off that cigarette lighter type thing. Quite often need to find some power in here. So yeah, that's it, done, or temporarily done, or nearly done. Works in progress, one could say. Let's leave that on for a bit longer. And bring the pressure up. There we go. Now this pressure gauge is actually on the low pressure side, so it goes up to about 6 bar, something like that, 7 bar, before it goes into the Clark pump. And again, these are all bits that bought from eBay, nothing really expensive. Well, here we are in sunny Marmaris, fairly early in the morning while it's nice and cool. A couple of big yachts in there, one called Nautilus, can't see what the other one's called. And what are we going to do? We are going to put a hook on there. We had this made, custom made. Let's have a look, Sid. Had this custom made yesterday, day before yesterday. Extra strong, 3mm stainless, got the right curve on it and everything. Just got to put it on there so that we can put that on there, so that we can use our whisker pole downwind. Alright, let's get on with it. Here we are at Marmaris, and we're not really sitting out to blow. We could be in the marina, but we're at anchor. Just drying off the towels from swimming, and I wanted to get this piece of ironwork put on there, so we had this custom built, and this was one of the places that we could have it done at Marmaris. 3mm stainless steel, polished finish. We've got stainless steel rivets in there as well, and an isolator pad between the two. Actually they're Monel, they're not stainless steel, but I may take these out and put some riv nuts in. But basically our pole that we made the other week hooks on there. So the pole is down there. Cindy is out shopping at the moment, and one of the things she's going to be looking for is a nice piece of line to go across the bottom of that pole. Because when the pole is disengaged, either at this end or at the clue, you do that by pulling that string, and it's just at the moment a piece of white string, quite literally a white line. I'm hoping that Cindy's going to be able to get something nice, or make something nice, maybe plait a piece, so that it gets a bit more decorated. So we've got 55 metres of chain out, which is out there. We're in 11 metres of water. Next nearest boat is probably this little blue one here. He's 20 boat lengths away. So we've got plenty of swinging room. Back at sunny Marmaris, almost the same place as we were last time. So we're in among the charter boats. Just going to take our rubbish in, check in, put some money on our dongle for electric and water, because of course it's extra here, even though we're on the mainland, and it's one of the most expensive marinas there are. Yeah, hey ho. So Cindy's grabbing all the rubbish. We've got the scooters ready, both wearing dark glasses. Yeah. Let's go. Well, I'm kind of hoping that the microphone's picking this up, but we stayed in Ishmilla last night. Sorry, I'll start again. I'm kind of hoping the microphone's picking this up. We stayed in Tarunch last night, which is near Marmaris. I'll start again. We stayed in Tarunch last night, which is near Marmaris. We caught up with David and Caroline.